Hey, we're Morgan World Entertainment, and okay, Superman, the DCU, James Gunn, and the future. What does it hold? Well, according to a new report and rumour, the next project is going to be a TV series. No, it's not V for Vendetta, which we did yesterday. It's about Jimmy Olsen. Yes, apparently they want to do a standalone Jimmy Olsen show. Why? God only knows. But there's also who the potential villain will be in that show. Which, the question then I have regarding the show is, well, surely then it has to have Superman and Lois Lane in it. How could it possibly not have both of them in it? But let's have a look. So, two new DC series have been announced. A Jimmy Olsen show set in James Gunn's DCU, and a V for Vendetta series believed to be an Elseworlds project. So both shows point to what we've been hearing, that Gunn has been quietly pivoting away from the larger DCU and toward smaller, contained stories focused on Superman and characters tied to him. So an insider said last month that Gunn's original Gods and Monsters plan is essentially over. So this is what the insider says, and there's some interesting bits in this. So they said Gunn pivoted to a new direction, quietly moving from Gods and Monsters to the Superman family saga because his contract hasn't been renewed, and if Skydance buys Warner Brothers, Universal is still quietly in play, then they want a completely new start. So that's what the insider says, which we'll come back to now in a second. So that's apparently exactly what's happening. The new Jimmy Olsen series, starring Skyler Gisondo, or however you pronounce the second name, reprising his role from Superman, continues Gunn's shift toward a Superman family saga rather than a broader interconnected DC universe. So it's clear now that Gunn is pouring his energy into the Superman corner of the DCU, with Superman, Supergirl, Jimmy Olsen, and Man of Tomorrow all orbiting the same characters and tone. Now, with what the insider says is interesting because Universal still being in play, they've only come into play now. Netflix apparently has now changed their mind and are interested again. However, they've also said apparently that the reason they're more interested now is because they're trying to force Paramount to pay more. Okay, but that only works if you put in an offer. But the fact that they're saying Gunn's contract hasn't been renewed, we know his contract runs out next year, so it's not exactly like there's this mad rush to renew it as of right now. It's probably more in line with they're going to wait to see how Supergirl does, and of course how Clayface does and Lanterns does. But he will already have other projects in production by then, like the Man of Tomorrow. That will be in production before his contract runs out. So it's more likely he will get an extension to the point of the release of Man of Tomorrow, and depending how that does, that will determine whether he stays or goes. But the part where they're saying Skydance wants a completely new start, that seems to be false, being the fact that David Elson has already come out to say he wants to keep everyone in position if he buys Warner Brothers, which means James Gunn and Peter Safran would be kept on board. That also, at the same time, though, didn't make all that much sense when he's saying he wanted to keep everyone in the same positions and, move forward with everyone still there, while he was doing massive layoffs and doing complete shake-ups of the heads of departments and stuff. So that part never really made sense. As for the villain, Jeff Snyder would later mention that one of these villains will be none other than Gorilla Grodd. So now THR has confirmed that this project is officially moving forward under the title DC Crime. American Vandal co-creator Dan Perdault or something, and Tony whatever, will write, executive produce, and showrun the series. And the Skyler dude is set to reprise his Superman role as Clark Kent's pal. So, it's saying here the concept centers on Olsen as well as other Daily Planet reporters, minus Lois Lane and Clark Kent, who tackle cases involving superpowered villains. And Variety's reports confirms that the first season will indeed focus on Grodd. Now, again, there's so many issues with this. So this report here says that no, it won't have Lois Lane and Clark Kent. How? How could it not have the two of them? How could you just have all these other characters and never have Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Superman show up in the show? Especially with Gorilla Grodd running around. How do you do that? How do you structure the show to feature all of these Daily Planet people, Jimmy Olsen, who was meant to be best friends with Clark Kent and stuff, and never show them? There's no point in them coming in and constantly every episode go, oh, Lois, you've just missed her, she's just gone off on a report and she took Clark with him. You're going to be sitting there going, this is BS, like, what are you talking about? And then when Gorilla Grodd and stuff comes around, starts tearing shit up, how are you not going to answer where Superman is? How could he not just show up and go, okay, I'll save the day? You know what I mean? It's not making sense. So that's where you're like, it's stupid to focus on a character like Jimmy Olsen. And by the way, let's be honest here. Let's all ask the real question people really want to know. Whoa, who the hell wants to watch a Jimmy Olsen show? Seriously, out of all the characters in the DCU, all the characters that they could have plucked from and made a story on, James Gunn has said, let's make a show based on Jimmy Olsen, the photographer at the Daily Planet. Why? What is he going to do? And how is he supposed to go up against Gorilla Grodd? Like, it makes no sense. It's stupid. So, yeah, he really is focusing all on the wrong stuff and it's just making whatever at this stage, isn't he? Like, yeah, the whole Gods and Monsters thing, that's gone. It's out the window. So, what is going to happen here? Like, how does he expect this to be a success? No one cares about Jimmy Olsen. Nobody wants to watch a Jimmy Olsen show, especially this version of Jimmy Olsen. He's a stupid, nerdy dude who barely knows where he's coming and going, but all these gorgeous women are falling at his feet, and it's like, what? Are you kidding me? So, yeah, apparently they're going to make a Jimmy Olsen show called DC Crime. As of now, anyway, that's what it'll be called, or at least the working title. And it's going to feature Gorilla Grodd, and no, it's not to feature Lois Lane and Clark Kent or Superman. Make that make sense, people. So what do you guys think? Are you interested in seeing a Jimmy Olsen show? Do let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.